Hey everyone, and welcome back to more Fully Ops video coverage of the UK National Championships. You join us in round 2 of the Top Cut elimination rounds. This, I believe, on the left we have Even Sor again. We saw him in the previous game, and James Oddie took him down. So Evan has dropped down to the lower bracket to fight for survival. And on the right we have Anton Price, good old Darth BS on the forums and on Twitter, a very close friend of mine, and you'll hear a lot of him in the Star Wars community. He's always very active on the threads and the forums. So we've got Evan on the left, starting as Jedi with double May the Force be with you, and a Hero's Trial, the Endor Luke. And Anton starting Imperial and going into kind of the classic Sith. Emperor's Web for cheaper events, Council for card draw, and Executor for resources and some great events. Anton starts with double Protectors, the sexy alt art Protector cards there from the Emperor's set. So that straight away tells us he's got 2 Palpatines in his deck. And that's not a bad start. It's going to make his board very sticky. His units are going to be able to stay alive and protect each other. Evan discards a Twi'lek. Drops out a resource. That's the one thing Anton missed on his first turn. He didn't see a resource, so he's going to be stuck on the same resources again next turn. And Evan here has got an opportunity to be pretty aggressive with this objective setup. He's got double May the Force be with you, which means he can definitely be attacking with his main characters and then free them up for the defense and to win the Force with the objectives. So he doesn't have to sit back and play the tempo game. He can definitely be aggressive. So Kyle comes out, and Kyle's reaction means he can put a focus on or take a focus off a committed unit. So locks down a guard. And Kyle swings for Council of the Sith with the guard blocking. Anton committing to this edge battle. Ooh, Executor and Pilot Vader. And I have you now. Wow, what a fake card. What a surprise there from Anton. I think everyone was thinking he'd just be running the Imperial affiliation for Thrawn. That guard should have focused out, but it doesn't matter. So I have you now. The fake card there for the Imperial Vader fighter pilot set says if you win an edge battle, destroy target participating unit. So he just one shots Kyle there. Keeps the Force down to 3. Discards the Chain of Command event from Thrawn's pod, so we know he is running Thrawn as well as Pilot Vader. And this is kind of classic Anton. Anyone who's known him or played against him knows that he's, he doesn't just go for the cookie cutter standard decks. He always has surprises up his sleeve, does old Anton. And there's Vader's tie. So he's got a good board building up here. But still no resources, worth noting. Looks like Anton passes the turn, just holds the Force, draws a card off Council and passes to Evan. But notice Anton does have Executor open with both its resources. Add in the Emperor's Web and he can play a Force Lightning from hand if he needs to here. So Evan needs to be careful. But I can see a Yoda and the core Luke in there for targeted strike. So 3 resources. Here comes Yoda. 2. Yoda trusts his feelings. Not a bad call. Yoda double striking with plenty of unit damage. It's pretty painful. Anton double blocks with the guard and the Vader's tie. Two to 2 in the edge. I think Evan's deciding whether to go for a third, and he does. 3 to 3. A heat. Ataru and Luke. Palpy on Anton's side though, so Anton will take the heat and then so yeah, the heat on the guard. Oh, sorry, heat on the tie, choke the guard, and then Anton wins the engagement and kills Yoda with a force choke. So Evan's struggling to just establish a board presence here. If he can keep a unit on the board, he can refresh it with those May the Forces. But Anton doing a good job drawing the tools he needs to just keep that board clear. Bit of background on both these players. So as I mentioned, Anton is he's a Star Wars player through and through. I know he plays X-Wing as well with his son. And always competes at a very high level here in the UK. Evan, actually, I didn't meet him before the UK Championships. He was there primarily for Thrones, I think, the Thrones 1.0 tournament. Placed very highly in that. Obviously, made the top cut in Star Wars. And actually, Evan went on to play at the FFG Worlds in 2015. Saw him there, had a few beers with him, and I actually saw him place very, very highly in the Conquest tournament. And I think he was playing Netrunner as well. So Evan plays a lot of cards, guys. He's a very skilled player across the board. So it's good to see a good mix of players here coming out for the Nationals. Anton drops Vader. Normal Sith Vader, not the pilot. Passes the turn, holds the force. And Evan draws a fresh hand. So yeah, I think there were a fair amount of new players at the UK Nationals that just decided to stay after day one, which was Thrones. But yeah, don't underestimate just because it's not their main game. Like I say, Evan here competing at a very high level in pretty much every card game he decides to pick up. He's a very skilled player. Bit of Ran's guidance. Finds a Yoda. That should be in your hand, I think. Not on the board, Evan. There we go. That would be a great event. 0 cost. Put a unit into play from the top 5 of your deck. That'd be ridiculous. Two for a sympathizer, so a bit more resources and a good blast damage there if you need it in a pinch. 3 for Yoda, there we go. And choosing to keep one open. It's got to ring alarm bells. Decided to use the Sulon, didn't need to, so that's got to ring some bells with Anton that there's a trick coming. Could be some kind of unfinished business for the Jedi to bring someone back from discard. Could be a double strike from the red 5 objective, I think. Plenty of options these Jedi have these days. Tricky Jedi. again, Anton's built up a great board there on the defense. So as Evan, do you want to attack into that with Yoda? Yoda could easily die, and you're back to square one and with no board. If you could win an edge battle here, then strike with Yoda. If you're not sure, I'd probably stay back and take the force and slow this game down. Give yourself a chance to build up a board. Looks like Evan thinks he can win a fight, so swings in with Yoda. I've just noticed Deadly Sight up there in Anton's discard, so that means he's running Saris's pod as well. So this is what we're talking about with Anton. He'll surprise you with some pods that you're not expecting. 5 for the light side. Not 5, I think 2, maybe 1 for Evan. So for Anton. So Evan's won the edge battle here. Strikes for 1,000,000 unit damage and obliterates that Royal Guard. 1 bomb on the objective. Now, where's this tactics going? Puts it on the tie. So that's not. Doesn't want to have to deal with that tactics icon. And I don't blame him. It looks like it is an unfinished business. Yep. So Evan can go dig through his discard and bring back anyone he wants just for 1 phase. Kyle will focus down the guard. And then Kyle swings for the web. Might as well, because Kyle's going to go away at the end of the engagement phase. The conflict. Goes back to discard, not to hand. Yep. Anton decides to let that unopposed. Doesn't want to take 3 unit damage. Don't blame him. And there we see May the Force be with you, doing its work. Refreshes Yoda up for the defense. And wins the Force. But Evan doesn't have any cards here, so he's got to be careful. He's not going to be able to win many edge battles. But he is starting to build a board, so game's slowing down. Light side have got the balance. That dial's not ticking up 2 at a time anymore. What tricks does Anton have? He's got 4 resources open, so no Palpatine this turn. Could be a Mara, could be a Thrawn, or could be some Chuds just to get in the way and block up that board. I think a Thrawn here would be a great addition to that board. Bring some control, a couple of tactics. Just a bit of a brick wall that's hard to break through. But we'll see what he has. It is a Thrawn. Oof, that's going to be that just is one more thing that Evan has to try and get through. So Thrawn is a great character. 4 cost, 3 health, 3 pips, and elite. So he's great at holding the Force. He's got a reaction that says just focus him to put a focus token on a target participating unit, so he can just shut down an engagement if he wants. Add to that, he's got 2 black tactics of his own. So this guy just throws focus icons onto the table for fun. Oh. Aggression for free from Emperor's Web. Yeah, I was going to say. Evan, you've got a Soul on there. Yep. Anton chooses to get rid of the TIE Fighter. Vader goes on the Force, takes it back off Yoda. And Evan draws a fresh 6 cards. Looks to me like the classic Jedi draw there of not many mains. But there's a speeder bike and a Trust Your Feelings. A lightsaber, so some good enhancements. Evan can do some work. And that speeder bike's always annoying. 2 tactics and edge. TGO's favourite unit. And there it is. Yoda on his speeder bike. That looks like it from Evan in the deploy. Just draw everyone's attention to the playmats as well. I know Anton was running the Obi-Wan playmat for a good reason on the day, which we'll hopefully see soon. And Evan rocking the classic, I think, Store Championships bobber from 2013, 2014, I think. Love that mat. The artwork on it is gorgeous, so thumbs up, Evan. Thumbs up to Evan. Yoda swings in and is blocked by Thrawn. Anton checking discard pile here, seeing what tricks have already been used. Good tip there for any players looking to improve at this game. There's always plenty of variables that you need to consider, and one of those is what's in the discard. Because if it's in the discard, usually you don't have to worry about it too much. Ooh, Anton really committing to this edge battle. Feels like I have you now, if I'm honest. Oh, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Evan, yep, that card says some tasty things. Evan's supporting fire was a good answer, but doesn't look like he has a card with enough pips to make him win. So I have you now, classic. Great answer from Anton there, very good meta call. I think he probably was the only person running it on the day. And it's just a great answer to be able to remove big units. So Evan frees the speeder bike up with the May the Force be with you, but not enough to take the Force. Anton digging for options here. Dark Precognition. Draw 2 cards, discard 1. And Vader gets to trigger. Do 1 damage when a Sith event is played. Dark Temple, the Force resource from Saris's pod. Great resource there. Saris herself is a questionable unit, but pretty much every other card in that pod is amazing. Mara, speaking of amazing, one of my favourite units in the game. Commit her to the Force or give her a lightsaber. She basically gets every keyword written in the rulebook. Shielding, elite, and targeted strike. And there we go. Commits her to the Force. Activates all those keywords. And over to Evan. Another training grounds. Four feels like a Luke. No, Q. Q Ran. Protecting legend. Ran swings at Emperor's Web. Thrawn gets in the way. Lots of tactics here. And even if he doesn't win, Thrawn can lock down the engagement with his ability. So, but I think Evan does have a Force Rejuve. Two to two.
Massive misplay. Massive misplay on my part.
Four. Evan, do you want to commit?
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
Five looks like. Couldn't quite count the icons there, but I think Anton won. Yeah, so Thrawn strikes and locks down both characters with his tactics. Ron commits, frees himself up. Pass the turn to Anton. Anton's got a pretty solid board here. 3 big mains and a protector to keep them up and standing. Don't catch the Jedi out yet. They've got plenty of tricks with their unfinished business, and you know, Luke could do some work. But I think Thrawn hitting the board was a very strong play from Anton. It's difficult to get past him if you don't have the answers. Oh, draw your cards first, Anton, and then trigger Vader. Doesn't think it really matters, but so Dark Precog, free event there for the Sith. Draw 2, discard 1. And looks like he's pitching a resource. Yeah, it's a good call. This late in the game, the resource isn't going to do much for you on the board. You don't really need it. Everyone's out and partying already, so.
You two are playing each other, right? So once you've finished, you've got a winner and a loser. Right?
9 resources to play with. If Anton's got a Palpatine here, that would that'd be everybody out.
Right? And then the winner of those two.
But it looks like he might just be keeping everything for Edge.
Because the winner will go here, the loser will go here.
Yeah, so you have to wait for all these matches over here. So you've got like you could split it and have like half an hour now.
The winner's got to wait even also.
Yeah, I mean I would suggest you take like 20 minutes off.
Vader and Mara
And then take
going on the offensive, it looks like.
yeah, like go get some food.
Shielding?
Town and do that.
Shielding?
But it might not be quite 2 hours. Yeah, it could be up to 2 hours.
Shielding. Good man. Yep, Evan noting there that Mara's got targeted strike, so even if he doesn't block, Q's going to take some heat. So may as well block. Anton wins by a mile. And that'll be a dead Q. Vader strikes. Kills Q-Ran. Kyle's master. And takes an objective. Dial ticks up. Passes the turn. Draw from council. I think Evan's got to dig for answers here. Two Lukes and a Heroes and Legends. That's not a bad start. Digging through your discard pile. That's probably a good sign that you've got unfinished business too.
Both my orders there safely.
So, could it be possible here, Evan? And that's Endor Luke. So get an enhancement on him. And I know we've seen his lightsaber already, so that can come from the discard. This could be a good turn here for Evan. Luke.
We will kill a objective.
Evan deciding he needs to take an objective to you know, save face at least. But this Luke can do some work. Get an enhancement on him. He can double strike. Heroes and Legends him. Strike again. And then you've always got May the Force be with you to be ready on the defense. Steady on. Thrawn stops the engagement. Evan then gets the next action window, quite rightly.
You will have the pleasure, you have the pleasure of killing him after I destroyed one of objective list.
So no Force Lightning quite yet, but Evan's a bit scared now. Obviously he knows it's coming.
Just because that's been the most annoying one.
Blocks with a Protector. It's the only thing he's got. Twisty, twisty, says Evan. Oh. Oh. Baiting out some good edge battles here. 4-2. Anton passes. It is a twist. That boy. That boy and his poker face. Evan. Passes. Anton can pass and win as the defender. Defender wins ties. So he does. And the guard will strike for 2 damage.
No. First, I will...
No, hang on.
I had a plan. Doesn't matter. Yeah. I was going to look that, yeah.
So, I think Evan misread some lightsaber text there. I think he thought he could play it in the engagement. Ouch. So, good game. I think there's not once, as I say, Thrawn hit the table there. That was a good... that was painful for Evan to try and break through. But a great game there. Good to see the Sith holding strong. So, Anton moves on in the lower bracket, and I think with 2 losses, that's unfortunately Evan out of the tournament. So a great showing from Evan, making the top cut and at the UK Nationals, and we will see you in round 3. Cheers.